Good day, loves. Welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. Yes, it is a lot later than anticipated for this episode. However, we are here, okay? We had a little switch around situation this morning. Um, welcome back. This is episode 136 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. I am Coach Tensi. If you don't know who I am, good day, love. Good to see you. Happy you're in the space. This is Thursday, so we're getting into the fourth of 5 elements of the Freedom Five. And these are 5 things to do on a daily basis to get to your vision of freedom. And this is holistic freedom. We're talking about holistic health. We're talking about your true alignment with what you see for yourself in your life that is aligned with truth and health and breaking the generational patterns of disease in our families for our babies and being the living example and all the things. Yes. So we're getting into the 5th element move today. And specifically, we're talking about something that we don't normally talk about, that I don't hear typically gets talked about even in a yoga class. And this is something that is dear to my heart because it matters so much when it comes to how we're moving our bodies, intentional movement, that I wanted to bring it up today. So the topic is energy flow in your body, and really what does every mom need to know about, like when it comes to their holistic health, about the flow of energy. And how to explore heart rate variability if you're on a journey to heal in terms of your heart health, whether you are experiencing anything like hypertension or something a lot more mild. Maybe your blood pressure came back and your doctor said it was a little too high. Whatever it is, or some people that we know have also experienced other forms of health conditions, whether it's a stroke or it's something else, some sort of blockages happening. When we get into energy flow, part of that is also releasing those blockages. Hey, love. Hey, girl. And one way that we can do that is by moving our bodies and getting into that thing called the heart rate variability, which we're going to explore right now. Like, what is heart rate variability? Maybe you went to your doctor and they were like, heart rate variability, when they were giving you the lowdown about what to do for your heart health. Okay, maybe they threw that term out there. Hey, Cindy. And you didn't quite know what it meant. Well, you are not alone. You are not alone. And that's why we're talking about it today, so that we can have some clarity. I know you want to be on camera for me, however, come on, we're not gonna do it. Oh, well, we are by accident. Okay, let me put you down. I know you want to be on camera, girl. Okay, but we're gonna have to adjust. Okay. Okay. So, heart rate variability basically refers to, so it's gonna be like what my baby face on social media. That is what it is. Let's adjust some more because I know you're hungry, sweetie. Here we go. Adjusting because we need to. Okay. Y'all, this is real life, so we are adjusting in real life. That's just what it is. The camera angle on YouTube, y'all, it looks crazy. But we're just gonna flow with it. Come, sweetie. Come, sweetie. Come, sweetie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're good. Okay. So getting back into it. Heart rate variability is basically referring to the time variation between each heartbeat. So let's say it takes 60, maybe you have a heart every um, 60 beats per minute. Okay, so if you have 60 heartbeats per minute, then the variability would be looking like if you have more or less, it's changing. It's going up to maybe 180. It's coming down to maybe 50 when you're more so resting. Maybe it's going up to something higher. It's varying, so there's variety happening. And one thing about heart rate variability is that the healthier your heart is, the more variability that you're going to have. So it's going to be a higher heart rate variability, and that's linked to better heart health, better cardiovascular health, as they say, more, being able to stand up to stress and be resilient and not crumble when you feel that the weight of the world is on your shoulders, or anxiety or anything like that creep up for you. So basically it's a variation in the rhythm of your heart in different situations is one way that you can think about it. And one thing that's important is when you are thinking through heart rate variability, you don't want to be stuck in a state where your body feels like it's freaking out. So that could look like fight or flight responses, like your body's on the defense and it's like trying to get away from the stress in one way, whether it's um, in the form of hiding out, like ducking out and trying to like get away from a conversation or a situation or a deadline or whatever it is, or aggression, or any other kind of way, or even freezing and uh, just kind of in a state of numbness. That's also one way that we could be caught into a form of imbalance if we're stuck there, right? When we get into more so the restorative, feeling at one with yourself, or coming back into a harmony with yourself, then that's more so your body feels like it's at rest, like you can really relax. That's when we get to really get into stuff like digestion, and a different part of our nervous system peaks up and is like, okay, we got this. We're recovering. We're getting back into a like a like a rejuvenating, like pouring back in some life into you kind of state. So you don't want to stay in one or the other. There are times where you need to be in more of the fight flight, especially if you need to get away from something literally, like you're being chased by a ravenous dog and you don't know this dog from nowhere and you don't look safe. Okay, and you got to get away. Then that's helpful in those cases, or when you just need a little extra burst just to make it into finishing your goal, then that's healthy stress. It's good. But when it gets to be too much, we gotta back up off and get some balance with the other kind of restorative rest, digestion, focused recovery. So there have been studies that, and one example is one by the AHA journal, and it's on hypertension. So showing that there is an associated lower risk of hypertension the higher that your heart rate variability is. So this is affected and influences by our stress, what we're eating, so our diet and our physical activity, to name a few things. But honestly, it's every aspect of life. Like when you're going through life, it's easy to feel stressed and it's easy to get stuck in that mode sometimes. But what's important is just to come back to center, to check in with yourself, take a deep breath in through the nose. Pause and notice what you're experiencing. Notice what's in your body, any tensions, and then exhale. ideally through the nose, but whatever you got to do, if it's a sigh, exhale that through the mouth. And really just allow for this second thing that we're going to talk about, your energy to circulate through your body. This allows for oxygen to move through your body, which is the number one thing that we need in order to live as humans, other than the actual life itself. We need oxygen. And we also, whenever we get breathing deeply and we get to into those sorts of practices like breath work, or if you do yoga, or other exercises where you're really circulating the blood, circulating through your body, then what that is also doing is allowing for the nutrients that you're getting from your food, any goodness that you're getting out of your life, to circulate, and for it to go to places in your body where it's needed to heal. So this is basically, because I'm not a doctor that's been practicing for decades on decades, and happened to be in functional medicine outside of the sick care model, and all of that. There's some limits to what I'm sharing with you. So I want to encourage you to do your own research, because your body is different from mine, and we're all on this journey to heal, right? So the second thing I want to really dive into is that energy circulation in the body. And when it comes to energy circulation, this is something that's referred to in traditional Chinese medicine as the movement of qi, or qi. And this is something that flows through these pathways in our bodies. That there's actually a, a study that has found physical evidence of energy paths in our body, energy pathways called meridians in the body. It's kind of like roadways and highways and byways for energy to flow through the body, not blood, energy. Okay, so this vital force, this life force that's needed, and there is this understanding in those traditions, like traditional Chinese medicine, and even if you date back to ancient Africa, they had in India, obviously, because prana is the same thing, just a different word. There's the same understanding across the globe around how a poor energy flow is so linked to disease and chronic illness, and blockages in our energy can truly lead to those sorts of states. But proper energy flow, so allowing for that blood circulation, oxygen circulation through your body, the nutrients to circulate, everything that's needed, those minerals to circulate through your body where they're needed, that is vital for health. And that's why when we talked about heart rate variability and we talked about energy flow, those are linked. Because even if, maybe you've done some sort of practice, let me know if you've ever experienced acupuncture in the comments. Let me know if you've ever experienced acupressure or acupuncture, because these are things that are aimed specifically, the focus of them is to improve energy flow. The reason why we drink our teas and we drink water is to improve energy flow, because it's allowing for the liquids in our body, the fluids in our body, to get, to flow through our body. It's allowing fluids to enter our body to flush it out and to get minerals where they need to go. Kind of like thinking, if you thought of like a pile of, okay, think of a clog pipe, right? If you have a clog pipe, you might put that little snake thing, the little plastic snake thing down there, and it has like little things coming off the sides to kind of snag stuff, and it just kind of like reaches down and then pulls stuff out. Well, and then you pour water in, right? Or you pour some sort of liquid in to get everything flowing through again. We gotta release, loosen up the blockage. So one way that we do that is through the other aspects of the Freedom Five. Be through stuff like breath work, stuff like you can even utilize visualization, meditation, just to bring down the stress level, bring down the cortisol, aka stress hormone, just enough to really be able to settle into the moment. We do this through cleanse with drinking a tea, drinking water, taking different supplements. You might have supplements, or eating certain herbs or certain things that help to remove blockages, or maybe you use castor oil on the skin, and that helps break down those things as well. Whatever it is, fuel through food, movement through, maybe it's a high intensity interval training or something like that, or whatever is in your thrive zone to do, right? Whatever is something that you is in your thrive zone, meaning what you love, what you need, and what you're called to, or what you're ready for. This is what allows for that connection back to holistic health, right? And then we're taking what we do when we be, cleanse, move, fuel, move, shine, and we're shining that out into the world. So let me know if that makes sense. Okay. If it doesn't, or if it brings up any wonderings, I would love for this to be a conversation. I would love to talk with you about it. So yes, balancing energy circulation is a big thing for overall health, and it helps us not only with heart health, but also with just dealing with everyday stress, dealing with any sort of crisis that might happen in our lives or with a loved one, to be more resilient, to be able to meet up against that challenge, to meet up against that piece of bad news, to meet up against any feelings of loss or grief, and just really be able to get back up again. I feel like that is really one of the most important things of why we're doing this and why it's important to be able to have that bounce back, that bounce back, so that you can show up for yourself on a more meaningful level. Okay, let's talk about hormone balance and how that ties into physical activity, because if you remember from previous episodes, we've talked about how the hormones, they're kind of like, well, they are the things that trigger how we feel. They cause different things to happen in the body. It's kind of like if you've ever gone to like a classical music concert, and there's the music director, or there's the conductor who's bringing in this voice and these instruments and guiding. It's like the kind of like almost, you can think of another example, traffic controller. Like the traffic controller telling people when to go, when to stop, when to do this, kind of thing. That's kind of like what our hormones do in our bodies. It's like the traffic controller, it's like the conductor, allowing for the harmonies of the different hormones and different things that our body does automatically without us asking, without us needing to consciously do anything with our minds, or like focus on beating my heart, stuff like that. It does it effortlessly. So when our hormones are out of whack, we feel out of whack. We feel the fatigue, we feel extremely tired, we have sleep issues like insomnia or sleep apnea, or there's mood swings, or there's stubborn weight gain when you don't want it, or there's too much weight loss when you didn't want that, or there's hair growing in places that you don't want, or you lose hair in places that you do want it. So there's these are all signs, and there's so much more, like bloating or brain fog or whatnot, that tell us that our hormones are off and out of balance. And one thing that is important to know here is that there's a hierarchy, and we've talked about this before, but at the very top there's this hormone, like big honcho, um, this hormone that helps bring harmony to all the ones up underneath. So that's oxytocin. And oxytocin is kind of like the bonding and connection hormone. Like whenever you feel connected to yourself or someone else, you feel oxytocin, and it's that meaningful connection. It's not like cliche networking or something like that, but it's like that deep, meaningful connection. And you can get that through meditation, you can get that through laughter, you can get that through massage, you can get that through a meaningful conversation with someone that maybe it was unexpected, but you feel good. You feel like you have a deeper understanding of yourself and them. It's oxytocin is the jam. It's phenomenal. And that's why when we are feeling lonely, that's one of the things that causes everything in our bodies and in our lives to feel so out of whack. So it's important to connect. Oxytocin, boom, shakalaka. Okay, boom. Right up under that is cortisol. And cortisol, like we said, is that stress hormones. And when this is out of whack, then we feel exhausted. It's like we crash, or we feel like we can't quite get back up. We can get up to begin with. This is kind of like when it's out of whack, it acts like a bully on the playground. It's like knocking down all the other hormones, and the other hormones are like controlling your blood sugar and your sex hormones that control your mood and your, not just your reproductive system, but every other system they affect too. So this is an interesting thing, because one way that we can really begin to bring harmony to our bodies through movement, through physical activity, is through things like, say, syncing it up with your natural body's cycle. So if you're a woman, especially, right, you don't get testosterone every 15 minutes like men do. Instead, we have a monthly cycle. Whether you're in perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, don't have a period, or you do, you know, and regardless, you still have a monthly cycle, okay? Whether it's irregular or not, you still have one. So the point here is that every phase, and there's 4 phases, like there are 4 seasons. Every phase of your cycle has its own need. So during the first and second phases, around day 1 to day 10-ish, and then day 16 to day 19, first and third phases, my bad, not first and second. First and third phases will, the work, Dr. Mindy Pelz's work, this is who I learned this from. She calls them the power phases. She's a phenomenal functional medicine doctor, practitioner, now influencer, and she started out in chiropractic care and helped heal her mom through not only addiction, but healing her body when she was going through some severe heart issues. And it just changed her whole life around. And she's done a lot of great things in the field of holistic health for women specifically. So she talks about how in the power phases, the first and third phase of a woman's cycle, this is a time to really get into high intensity workouts and cardio and cardio. So when it comes, my gosh, we might have to do it off this live, y'all, because I think something just happened. I think I flashed somebody on Instagram. Okay. If you get it live, you get it live, but we might have to do without the recording. But the thing is that high cardio. So cardio is great in the power phases. And when we're talking about heart rate variability, that's when you think about interval training. So you're going for maybe a minute and then you rest for maybe 30 seconds. Or if you need a little extra rest break, then you're going for about a minute and then maybe you rest for about a minute and a half if you really need the time. Or vice versa. Maybe you go for a minute and a half and you rest for a minute. Depending on what you're ready for, you got to listen to your body and check in with how you're moving, especially if you're changing levels from high up in the sky maybe you're like up, standing up, and then you squat down, or you're up and then you go down to the ground. This act of changing levels will get your heart rate up. And then when you like, another way to get your heart rate up is lifting something heavier than you normally do. So you may have free weight dumbbells on hand, or you may have something else that helps give you some extra resistance, whether that's a band or it's you carrying a heavy book or whatnot, and do squats with that, whatever it is for you. Those are some ways to get your heart rate up, but the whole point is you want variety. So playing around with high intensity, high heart rate beating workouts one day, and then maybe another day you're getting into something that's like more chill, kind of like a restorative yoga or a rest day in a given week. And then maybe on another day you're getting it right back up. It's really more about getting some variety in every few hours than it is about getting one workout in a day. So some variety could look like, even maybe you're fidgeting one moment and then you get up and you go for a walk, and then maybe you have a dance break somewhere else, a 5-minute dance break. Maybe you have on a song or two and you go hard for that, and then maybe you get you reel it back in at another 5 to 15-minute break later in the day. But having these short little workouts, having these short little workouts is one way to really start to get consistent and thrive in your movement activities. And when it comes to especially heart health, that's the key. That's the key. So practicing mindfulness is something that's phenomenal when it comes to that blood circulation. You can always go to breath work. There's a phenomenal app called Othership that I highly recommend for breath work. You can meditate, do yoga. These are phenomenal, especially in the last part of your cycle. Yoga, meditation, hiking, nature walks, things of that nature, and even massage. All that is great for day 20 to when your cycle starts back up again. And then when it comes to the other part of your cycle, the second phase, the manifestation phase, that's when you want to get into lifting heavier, more so strength training. And with that, having those intervals again, it's phenomenal. Give yourself a time where you're going up to it, and then you're reaching your limit, or you're getting there, and give yourself some time where you're recovering every time that you're working out. The interval training is phenomenal. Can't say it enough. High intensity interval training has also been proven to stimulate in your body something called autophagy, which is kind of like when your body goes on deep cleaning mode, and it's like spring cleaning for your body. That deep cleaning where you're getting all the little crevices, you're getting all the little this stuff up out in the house, like when you spring clean in your house. And it's phenomenal. It's one way that gets turned on, but it's like a dimmer switch, a dimmer light switch, to where it's not just on and off. It just starts slowly coming on. And the more that you do it, the more that you see the effects of it. Does that make sense? So that is the important thing to cover there. But again, with all of this, with everything that I've said, the most important thing to keep in mind is really just to listen. Listen to your body. Listen to your body, because it will tell you what it needs. You know what you love. You know what you'd love to experience. You know what comes into your mind when you think of it, and you're like, that could be cool. Or, I love that. That feels good to me. Then you know what you're ready for. You know what you have access to, right? Or if you don't know, you can know. So listen to your body, pay attention to the signs, And if you need a reminder of what some of the signs are, inspired by Dr. Mindy's work, she's phenomenal. I made a guide, a little guide called the Hormone Heroes, and it goes through the 3 main sex hormones and what each of them needs in order to find peace and harmony in their hormone lives and in your body. So yes, hopefully that helps. It also breaks down like what kind of workout or what kind of ways of moving the body, what foods, what sort of activities, can really pour into them. So if you're interested in that, let me know by putting guide in the comments and I'll send it to you. Boom. All right. Last but not least, here's a recap. So heart rate variability helps with heart health. And that's basically you changing it up. You're going from intense to chill to kind of moderate when you're doing your exercises. Energy circulation is phenomenal too because it's needed. It's not only needed to help to flush the waste out your body via something called the lymphatic system, which is basically like your waste management services of your body. But it also helps you have an energy boost. It helps with fatigue. It helps with so much. So get those little things incorporated in your daily routine. This is about the Freedom 5. And remember, this is a journey. So if you are on this journey, you don't want to walk it alone, or you've tried, like I have in the past, and you realize that it takes a village, especially as a mama, then I want to invite you to our event on January 20th. It's called Thrive Zone, and it's going to be phenomenal, incorporating wellness, art. There's going to be a kids corner, on-site facilitators to help out with that, and it's all rooted in holistic freedom. So your vision of freedom, we're going to move into it. We're going to hear some music that reminds you of it. We're going to do a meditation. We're going to have a discussion where we reflect on truths in life and how to get more aligned with them. And there's going to be a little presentation on major shifts. Well, it's like tiny habits, major shifts. And that is going to be so much fun. It's happening at Dawa Studios. We have a body intelligence coach, Lily Shepard, who's phenomenal. We have these phenomenal singing artists, Geo, aka Triple OG, and we also have Queen Dila, who is a phenomenal rapper. Her lyrics, everything is like an affirmation to your soul and your spirit, reminding you of your greatness, and she great. And we also have local artist Rhea Rose, who is from the Phoenix Art Studio, doing some creative artwork with the babies and things. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. We're also gonna perform as a Fulu child. But this is an event for working moms and their families. So don't hesitate to bring your family with you. There's going to be some light vegan bites to eat, and we're going to have a ton of fun. It's going to be great. Ursula from Soul Arts Collective and Mihal from Manos. I'm not remembering how to pronounce the second Spanish word. Please charge it to my head, not my heart, girl. But she's phenomenal. She's gonna also be there. These are artists, these are healers, and working mamas. So stay tuned, stay plugged in, and subscribe or turn on your notifications to be alerted when we have the next episode, aka tomorrow. And we'll see you later. Peace, loves. Peace.